It's Common Courtesy with Sean Nicholas.
I have to agree with everyone as well because deadass, one, I'd fucking run because
Nikki Prue.
Can't say anything to him because you snooped. You should just be moved out already. Like, in my opinion, this woman should already.
Angelique Young.
And I would have even told them about the money when I got there. I'd have said I only found X, Y, and Z minus the ATM money I withdrew.
Ivan Alexander.
You have to be able to accept what you found and then make a decision from there. Don't go crying to Dear Abby about it or your friends. Make up your mind. Put the big red penny.
And Dr. Christina Palin.
If someone like Britney Spears goes through something like this for 13 years where she's completely blocked.
Yay! Everybody's all here. I'm so excited.
Happy Veterans Day. Tonight's topics. We react as Kyle Rittenhouse has taken the stand in his own trial. Then we take a look at the horrifying videos from the Astroworld Music Festival. After that, was NFL player Aaron Rodgers being misleading or flat out lying? All this with our special guest co-host, Brandy. This is Common Courtesy. Let's start the conversation.
How you do that? Oh, sorry.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Common Courtesy. I'm your host and moderator, Sean Nicholas. And with me, alongside me, dancing, is Ivan Alexander. How are you?
Hey, fabulous.
It's good to see you. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're here for Hot Topics. And also down below, we have our special guest co-host, Brandy. How are you?
Hi.
Hey, it's good to see you. Good. All right. So I just kind of wanted to get into some things early because I saw that Aaron Rodgers, right? You know, he's getting a lot of backlash because he was seen in a video when they asked him, you know, are you vaccinated? And here's what he had to say about that.
Yeah, I've been immunized. You know, there's a lot of conversation around it, around the league, and a lot of guys who have made statements and have made statements, owners who made statements. You know, there's guys on the team that haven't been vaccinated. I think it's a personal decision. I'm not going to judge those guys. And so I just want to start off the show by acknowledging that, you know, I made some comments that people might have felt were misleading. And, you know, to anybody who felt misled by those comments, I take full responsibility for those comments.
Yeah, you know, I want to just say, you know, I don't want to blame anyone else for not getting the vaccine. Like, I just clearly said that I did. And last week he tested positive for COVID-19. It comes out that he actually wasn't. He was doing this homeopathic thing at home. So I just want to ask you guys, since one, was he misleading us, or was he lying as well? But is this also a push to have, like, you know, vaccine passports? And Ivan, I want to go to you because you have
I am ready.
a lot to say about this.
You gotta be a special kind of stupid to think he was misleading. Let me tell you, flat out he lied. However, I will give him some credit because he did say he was immunized. He didn't say for COVID. So he could have been immunized for mumps, for measles, for chickenpox, all those childhood diseases. He could have been vaccinated for all them. But he never said he was vaccinated for COVID. You may have, I don't know, been misled to believe it was COVID. But yeah, he's flat out lied his ass off, got busted. And if I upset anybody with my statements, I sincerely apologize if you took it the wrong way. You lied. There's no freaking way that you can hide that. You freaking flat out lied. Yes, I've been immunized. Done.
Okay. Brandy, let me go to you. Was he misleading or was he lying to us?
So it's kind of like that lying or omission. And I feel like it's that thing that, like, when we're asked by someone, did you have sex with that person? And they're like, or did you sleep with that person? Sorry. And they're like, no, I didn't really sleep. You know, like it's really funny. I think he says he's taking full responsibility, but at the end of the day, are you taking responsibility for the hospital bills that may occur? Are you taking responsibility for anybody that gets sick? What are you taking responsibility for? Your words and not getting, you know, kicked off the team or in trouble like someone else that might have taken a knee and got his whole career taken away from him?
Uh-oh, there it is.
Just
There
saying.
it is.
Well, see,
What are
to
you
Brandy's point,
responsibility
though,
for? Can we pull
to
your ass?
To Brandy's point about did you sleep with that person? My first question is when. I didn't admit or deny. I just said when. So you can take that any way you want. Really, it's kind of like I didn't deny. I didn't. You know, I didn't say when with you. I just said when. So
No, okay, no. I honestly, Ivan, you know, when someone asks you that question, they don't mean like
not
when.
dumb.
They're asking, you know, did you sleep with that person? Yes or fucking no. Could have been like before our relationship or after. The answer could be anything, but why lie about it? And for me, you know, he's like a public figure. He's, you know, in the NFL. I have no idea why he chose to lie. I mean, I guess he didn't want to start bullshit. But the fact that, I don't know, he didn't think he was going to get COVID. And now that he did, and it's coming out, and then people play that clip back like I did.
Could it be privilege?
I don't want to go that far and say that, but maybe.
Oh, I did. I called him out. It's privilege. Get over it.
Absolutely. I mean, come on. He's like lying and shit. Like, why don't there are some times when you're caught in a lie. It's like, oh, like your boyfriend's like, it's like when your boyfriend's asking you, like, oh, did you sleep with that person? And you're like, no. But then there's like a condom there, and you're like, okay, so, or someone.
Or how about this? Define sleep. Define sleep.
No, bitch. Like I was.
They caught an Elysian.
We could lay together and sleep. Doesn't mean we had sex. I mean, it's define sleep. That's all I'm saying.
No, and people. No, come on.
Give me the parameters so I can answer the question.
See, he's like what he did here, Apollo, but you be lying. I can't trust you.
La Olla. That's what
you're like
La Olla is.
You're like one of those guys I saw on that show. What was it? Couples Court. You're the reason why we're there. You're the reason why we're there. All right, so let's move on to this next one because I saw Kyle Rittenhouse. My question is, you know, was he acting in self-defense or was he a vigilante? Now the prosecution has just arrested their case against him. So the defense has called him to the stand to give his testimony. And here's a little bit of what he said.
Mr. Rosenbaum was now running from my right side. And I was cornered from in front of me with Mr. Zeminski. And there were three people right there.
Take a deep breath, Kyle.
That's what I.
You know what? I'm wrong for playing that shit because I'm back here just laughing because this shit can't be real. You know, my teachers in acting school, because that's where I went, they would tell me, you know, you should only use a little bit, right? You only need a little bit to convince people. But the whole like upheaval, like
that was an ugly cry too.
It was a forced ugly cry because if you look at his eyes, he's like looking around. Is this enough crying? You know, like I just want to go to you guys and ask you. I don't know if you guys are following this. I hope everyone is. Because
I follow that crap every day.
Yeah, so
every freaking day.
Brandy, I'm gonna go to you first though. What do you think? Do you think he's? Because he said he was acting in self-defense. Like this is what he said since last year, and you know now he's in trial. But you know what? Honestly, wait. I just want to show this photo because remember him last year? They caught him out at like a club, get like people getting pictures of him. I just want to ask you, how did you feel after seeing that? And do you think it's going to help his case?
And so being emotional on the stand can go many ways. But my thing is, first off, is why is there a 17-year-old with access to multiple guns, not to mention assault rifles and all that ammunition? Where are your parents Because when I was that young, I would have got my ass whooped had I not even been on when the street lights came on, let alone access to a damn gun. Like, I didn't get access to Oreos if my grandma said no.
I'm
like,
dead.
What the hell? Like, what is wrong with these kids? What are wrong with these parents? I think that the family of the deceased should sue the shit out of that family, because where are your kids? How were you not responsible for your kids? Like, let alone who were they registered under? Who gave them permission? Did they actually give them permission for that? Or they just took it on their own? Like, that's a big question. And police greeted him. Had that been a Black or person of color, they would have been like, excuse me, sir, you have assault rifles? Like, no. What the fuck?
Okay, let me go to you, Ivan. Ivan, do you think that any of what he said is correct? I could show the video of him, running through the streets. I have on the show before. I just don't want to.
No, please don't. I've seen all that bullshit too many times. Number one, okay, so he's on the stand getting emotional. What he really got emotional about was, oh my God, I'm lying my ass off, they're gonna catch me. So that adrenaline really pumped him up to get even more upset. And the more upset he got, the more it pumped, and the more upset and the more pumped he got, the more it was like, oh, police. That's a bunch of bullshit. Number two, 17-year-old with a freaking assault rifle. His friend who was 18 bought the gun or bought the rifle with the intent when he turned 18 to give it to him. He gave him the money for it. I've been watching.
He's on trial too.
Right, he should be. Now, secondly, you don't even freaking live where you went. Oh, we're taking graffiti off of schools. We're being we're being little angelic creatures here. And then with a freaking AR-15. And let me tell you, I went to the gun range the other day. I shot a friend's AR-15. I'm getting one of them suckers. That thing was incredible. I mean, I have handguns, but I don't have an AR-15. And I sure as hell don't have the shotgun I fire. But those things are incredible. But they also kill precisely. So you're walking down the street, open carry with this freaking AR. You're 17 years old, and now you're 18 years old. He was so coached to be on that damn stand. I'm sitting there watching this kid going, he is way too smooth, and all of a sudden, he starts breaking down when he realizes, oh, wait, trauma. They're surrounding me. I've got to do something. I'm going to get caught. Boom. Blah, blah, blah. And the Oscar goes to, well, I'll just say, asswipe. Seriously. I'm so sick of this guy. And the family has no money, so you can sue them all day long. They have no money. So what are you going to get from them? Just a judgment? No.
Absolutely right.
He should never have been in that freaking city to begin with. And he should never have had that gun either. And his little first aid orange bag, like he was some kind of a freaking paramedic. He lied about that too. I mean, the kid is a straight up liar, coached from day one, and now his ass is getting caught, and now he's running scared.
He's a sociopath.
Performance award goes to that. Definitely.
You know, how many animals did he mess with when he was a kid? Like, what the heck kind of rap shit can we open up? Has there been psychologists? Like, what else needs to come out? Because there has to be a history of violence. Like, people don't just turn up and bring guns and start shooting. Like, I've been to tons of protests. Never in my wildest dreams, no matter how much I disapproved of someone, would I ever even contemplate hurting another person like that, or even thinking that was okay in self-defense or anyway. Like, that's human beings. Like,
but his claim, not to cut you out, his claim was to actually defend a business. If you actually look at the whole situation, everything, the testimony, everything else, his claim was there were people out there saying, we need help down here, please come and protect us. So that's why he brought the AR-15. The rest of it, it's all garbage. He should never have been there as a juvenile. His mom should be locked up for letting his ass leave the house anyway. And the guy who bought him the gun should be under the jail.
I've also read that the car watch where they were when he shot the first victim said that, we didn't ask him to be there or whatever, whatnot. But you know what? Like I was saying earlier to a friend of mine, my mom, I was saying to my mom earlier, I was like, have you ever heard of the savior complex? Bring it off of this, but the savior complex, the guy that starts the fire and all of a sudden he just lets it, build a little bit, and then he just comes in and saves the day.
Exactly.
He's like, oh my God, fire. And he's like pulling people out of the fire. He's pulling babies and shit. He's kicking down doors and he's the hero. And then after a little bit of investigation, they find that he's the person that started the fire. So I feel like, with this Rittenhouse case, I said it back when this happened, that I don't understand why you have to cross, just like Ivan said, cross state lines. And then also you have this gun. You said you want to provide medical aid. But a lot of EMTs don't have guns in them, so you're kind of making yourself a target there. And also as well, like I don't believe any of it, because why are you the only one that got into the whole people chasing you down? Because I know something had happened that we have not seen on camera. Something happened before.
Didn't it remind you of that case that was here in Florida? I can't think of the guy. He got in trouble twice, and he was saying stand your ground and all that. I can't think of the guy's name.
Oh yeah,
you know the one that got the one that. Not the one that shot Trayvon.
McLaughlin. No,
okay.
Marquise McLaughlin.
What was the one that was down here in Florida?
The guy that got shot at a store. It was Marquise McLaughlin, and he was shot, and the guy was saying, "Oh, he attacked me," and it was self-defense. And
that was one of them. But there was another guy, and I can't think of what his name was, and he got in so much trouble, and then he ended up getting in trouble again. But it was here in Florida with their Stand Your Ground, and I believe that he was he was Hispanic. I can't think of what his name was. Zimmerman.
That's what I'm talking about. That's the one with Trayvon.
Okay.
But when is it not in Florida?
He got in trouble again for similar.
Yep, he did, because he's an idiot.
So,
but when is that crap not in Florida? I mean, literally, we're the hotbed for stupidity.
There wasn't an alligator involved. It was pretty exciting.
You know that I've seen, what was it? Ted Bundy, wasn't he in Florida too? Which is a hotbed of craziness. But no, like I said, I just think that this can't be self-defense, not when you go and put yourself in danger. That's like me going to like the KK rally, standing outside of the gas station a gas station at the KK rally with an AR-15, being like, I'm just gonna protect this business. They gonna see my black ass and be like, "Get that nigger," They're gonna. I'm done. They're gonna. And I'm gonna say with self-defense.
For real, dude.
Honestly, I was inciting something. I don't see why it was there. And I think people gotta see that savior complex. They gotta put that shit from Law and Order and CSI, because how the fuck you just happen to shoot a couple people
or January 6th. Can we talk about the savior complex there?
Oh, please.
Absolutely. Like, I want to get on that, but like, there's so many, you have people getting subpoena for it. But anyways, the last topic I want to get to is Astroworld, and what happened at that. So I have some not so good videos. Yeah. Definitely hot topic. I have some videos of what happened, and I just want to show them here.
Let's go!
Hey, bro, be careful, bro. You can. Hey, go that way.
Let's do it.
Just wow. And that's not even the worst of what we saw inside that concert. So I just kind of want to go to you guys as a little bit of a reaction. And what do you think happened to start this? And because 8 people have died, and there are people in the hospital, including, I think he's 9 years old, a 9-year-old boy who was trampled over, and I'm praying for him. Ivan, what do you think happened at this concert?
Well, first of all, I blame security. I've dealt with live events before. I've dealt with live shows, crowd control, and everything else. Security has got to have their eyes on the crowd at all point in time to see if anything's going on. Part of the part that was crazy was when a crowd starts chanting "Stop the show," it became more of a rhythmic thing towards going with the show. So they're going to be confused as hell, going, "Stop the show! Stop the show!" I mean, what? Something going on? People jumped up on stage and told the guys who were on the stage, "There are people dying. There are people being crushed." But because of the whole the dismay that was going on and the confusion, it took at least 30 minutes before they realized what was going on. They did not do their job correctly. And number one, you would not catch me in a crowd like that with 50,000 people with that lack of security. Number one, there's nothing controlling that crowd to do a stampede towards the front of the stage to jockey for better positions. And if you fall down, you're as good as dead. And that's what happened. I blame the security. I blame the promoters behind it. It was totally a situation that could have been avoided.
And Brandy, let me go to you. What do you think?
Well, the death toll is at 9, and a 22-year-old female just passed. Like you said, the 9-year-old still in the hospital. Listen, they had given a timeline of all the things that had happened, and I've been to many concerts. I've never seen anything get so rowdy. I've been to Manson concerts, rock concert, rap concerts, everything. I've never seen that in all different countries. Never seen that. And the fans were already busting down the VIP entrance at like, I think it was like 1 or 2, where they were scanning tickets also. And it was just like all these things. And apparently he had stopped a couple times in between or whatever. But when does money supersede like people dying? Like, I don't understand. And then they said that there was a whole plan, security plan, and they had some nickname for the people or something. Smurfs. It was Smurfs. And so they already knew that this was going to get bad. So my thing is did you double your insurance? Why didn't you double your security? Why is it a standing only event? Like, why are there all these things that are happening? And then at the end of the day, you're like, oh, I'll pay for your medical bills. I'll pay for this. I'll pay for that. Listen, these are people's lives. Where do you get to draw a number? If my partner died, that would be priceless. I would go after you for every dollar you had and then some. Like, there's no amount of money that could be placed, especially dying in such a manner as it was, and then having no one even care that you died. Like, the show had to keep going on. Like, so you were so disrespectful that even one person died. And they showed a concert, I think it was Shinedown or some concert where someone had gotten hurt, and they literally stopped the entire show. And that is the way things should happen. I've been to shows that have been stopped because like something got rowdy or something, whatever, they stopped the show. But this is insane. Like, this festival, and then there's 30,000 signatures to, I think, for him to not be at Coachella. Well, Coachella, if he does that stuff, that's going to be insane, because I think that's even more people there.
Oh yeah.
But for me, it was like, if he does this stuff, you know, he didn't really do anything. You know, I was watching all the videos, and none of the videos, I mean, I saw what happened, or I read that he was in jail or indicted on some lesser charges of basically inciting a riot as concert. He's like, you know, rush to stage. My thing is, I think it was poor event planning, because everyone was like caved in, you know. People were already rowdy to begin with, but there's one thing is like, why are you caging them in? Because they try to like say, oh, in this car you can fit about 8 people, but when you put like all those 8 people and what they actually look like, you know, it's a lot bigger than what you think it is. So I think it was more. I think we should definitely sue the, like, you know, Live Nation Entertainment. We should definitely sue them. To say that Travis Scott didn't care, though, I don't want to say he didn't, because he did stop, you know, seeing one person and, like, you know, stop the show and, you know, let that person get out. But at the same time, it was just like, it's just poor event planning. It was like the Titanic. You know,
we need to know what was said in his ear.
Right.
We need to know what was said on his headpiece. Like, if they can figure out what was said, did they have earpieces in? Like, was he notified that this was happening and he said screw it? Like, what was going on? We need transcription of what actually happened. So right now, like, I can basically say, like, I feel as though I feel like,
what did he know and when did he know it?
Yeah, like, okay, like, it's getting to the point where, okay, well, if you're gonna blame him, then you have to blame him, and then this and this, and that's why you have insurance. It's like kind of what we're talking about with someone else. You know what you're getting into if he has a history of this too.
Well, I'm gonna flip this just a little bit, okay? Just a little flip, because you know how I am with this, right?
Go ahead.
I don't go to a damn nightclub unless I know where the freaking exit is, because if something happens, my ass is out of there. Now, if there are 30, 40, 50,000 people in this stand-up only event, I guarantee you, my ass is gonna be towards the back. No way in hell am I waiting for this stampede to go, oh my God, let's get closer, and then boom, I'm dead. No, sorry, not gonna do it.
Yeah,
not gonna happen.
I didn't mean to laugh, but like,
no, I'm just serious
thing.
I mean, and I'm not saying that, I'm not blaming the individuals, but if you've been to live concerts and you can sense when some shit's going down, you go away from the stage. You don't go towards it. You get the hell out of Dodge and say, screw this crap. I'm calling Uber, somebody get me the hell up out of here, a helicopter, whatever it takes. I'm not going to be involved in it.
Now, really
that's
fast.
Just my perspective.
Really fast. I just caught, Good Morning America, and one of the EMTs that was in that ambulance that was driving through the crowd where that guy was dancing on. He was like saying he basically blamed the crowd because, like, remember that security guard that was like stabbed in the neck? I want to know what's going on with that. Like, who the fuck out there? It's like Batman or some shit. It's like Gotham. That show Gotham. You got somebody out there like clink clink, and they had to revive him with Narcan. So I think people should we're reacting right now with emotions of what we saw, but we also have to take a step back and see what actually happened. Like the Narcan, because it wasn't just a security guard, it was several other people that was revived with that.
Right.
So
well, they said there's somebody that was injecting people, with this freaking with needles. So I mean,
yeah.
And how are you getting that stuff in? I can't even get a bottle of water on a damn plane.
Right.
How are you getting drugs in there?
The security was security was not doing their job whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. That was a damn joke of security.
They didn't have enough, like for 50,000 people, like especially, like I don't know. What happened to me really fast before we go. What happened to me was I looked up, has any type of like concert like this, like a crowd crush? Because basically some people were crushing the crowd. Has this happened before? And it has. So that's one reason, Brandy, why they do have concerts that are outside to be standing only, because the fact that something like this happened at another concert where they were like trying to rush in and it was a seated concert and people died. So I mean, I just think that this has happened before, like tragedies that I was watching Mick Jagger's concert back in the 70s. I think it was 69. Someone was stabbed by the Hell's Angels, because that was who was providing security, and this black dude got stabbed. Like you can see this on national television, and he kept performing, and his career didn't die. And I don't think that hopefully this ends on a positive note. I don't think for some people it will, because they lost someone at an event, at a musical festival, not expecting that. But we gotta start being honest. This is what happens at these music festivals, and but also as well the event planning, keeping them caged in. That was a problem. People were saying they had to climb over.
I mean, but think about it. Let's remember, and people were saying, oh, this stuff doesn't happen only at rap concerts. Let me take a step back and let's talk about what happened in Vegas at a country concert.
Right.
In the middle of Vegas by one man. One man created all that havoc. So,
or even Kyle Rittenhouse shot 3 people.
All kinds of stuff.
And he deliberately, for me, honestly, let me just say this. I don't think Kyle Rittenhouse is gonna really serve any hard time behind jail, because even the prosecution, I was reading Fox News, girl, because I like to get my sources from everywhere, and I agree with them. They were saying that the prosecution oftentimes proved his self-defense thing. But if you're gonna, like I said, with that shit, if you're gonna go into a hotbed of violence with a gun, you can't just say that this is self-defense. And I don't think that this Astroworld thing, it wasn't just
premeditated.
This shit was it was poor planning with Astroworld, and also this Kyle Rittenhouse shit was premeditated. So was that crying shit, because he was like, "Oh, here's where I cry.
No,
here's where I cry, bitch." I saw that.
He's afraid of getting caught. He's afraid of getting caught, and it got worse and worse and snowballed. Oh my God, I'm gonna get caught. I need to cry more. No, I'm crying too much. He freaked out. Boom, done.
Listen, this is why I don't go out my house often. I go to Target. I go to work. I go to craft fairs. I'm a 90-year-old woman inside this body, and that's exactly why. I don't mess with this stuff. The Pulse shooting, all the other things I've been to. Nope. Not having it. It's been too crazy.
It's ridiculous. And don't worry. I mean, trust me. I carry mine, okay? But I don't want to have to use it unless I have to. And if I have to use it, I will use it. But if I see something like that coming up, my ass is going the other way, without question.
But like I said, you're not walking around with an AR-15, I'm giving out medical aid, and that's not what you're doing. Because it's not one thing I should have mentioned was the fact that he was doing so many interviews, basically creating an alibi.
Yep.
Anywho, we're out of time. Thank you guys so much for watching us, and we will see you guys next week. Be sure to look out for our podcast on where you listen to your podcast. See you again.
That's my sign off, Brandy. See ya.
Bye.